I can't. It's breaking.
Oh, are you sure it's not from your end? Hello? Are you sure the problem
Yeah,
is not from you? Can you hear me clearly?
I can. I can. I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
All right.
All right. So, can you just introduce yourself? Tell me about your past and your present and what you want to achieve in the near future. Let's say in 2023. What are you
All
hoping to
right.
achieve and how can I help here?
All right. So, my name is Ali Abdul Quadir. I'm a student, and I'm into product design, UI UX, and I've been into trainings the past couple of months, and for the nearest future, I hope to get gigs and of course roles, UI UX roles. So that's what I'm working up. That's what I'm working up to presently.
Okay. Firstly, what do I call you?
So
Ali.
basically, that's just it. Yeah, Ali.
All right. You say you're a student. Student of what? Student at where?
All right, I'm a law student at University of
Oh,
Ilorin.
you are a law student at where?
University of Ilorin.
Okay. Hmm. Interesting. All right. So what is a law student doing in product design?
Well, so when the strike happened, I thought of maybe like looking for another career prospect, another thing to do instead of just waiting on the strike to end. So I decided to look into the tech space, and I found product design. And with foundational graphics knowledge, I was able to cope with it. And I'm still doing the training. I'm still doing trainings presently, and I hope that yeah, soon enough I would thrive better in this space.
All right. Do you have your CV and portfolio for me to look at?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
How do I? Should I just share you the link to my
Yes.
portfolio?
Yes. Just drop the link in the chat.
All right, give me a minute.
Okay. So while you're fetching that, um, have you been applying for jobs?
Actually, yes, I have. I've been applying for a lot of jobs. Still
Okay.
waiting. Yeah,
What kind of jobs
hopefully.
have you been applying for?
Intern roles actually, and junior roles basically. Intern roles and junior roles. I'm hoping I would get one very soon. Okay, that's a link to my portfolios, and this is a link to my.
Uh, okay. This is so many links. Which one am I clicking on, please?
No, no, you can check the Behance. I have a portfolio on Behance and Dribble.
Okay. So I'm going with Behance.
All right. So I have case studies on Behance.
Okay. So while I'm checking those out, I have a few more questions. So you said you've been applying for jobs, intern and junior roles. On what platforms have you been applying to these jobs?
Well, I found some on LinkedIn. I found some on Google. I found some independently. The people saw and they shared with me, and I applied to them. So a lot of jobs actually. Yeah, in the last month, I've applied for nothing less than 10 to 11 roles. I've,
Yeah.
I've, I'm still optimistic, and I'm still taking more trainings,
Mm,
upskill
okay.
better.
When did you start product design?
Well, I started I think May, yeah, May of this year.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I started taking trainings. I did personal trainings. I checked YouTube videos. Then I took some trainings, some tech, uh like Ingressive for Good, Zuri training. I was also a beneficiary of the Lagos Design School by Net Factory and Design U. I took a lot of other trainings actually. I also took some independent courses online. I took the introduction to human centered design by Acumen Academy, collaboration with IDEO.org. So I'm waiting for the second part of the course that will start by May next year.
All right. That's fine. So I'm trying to look through your portfolio right now. So first thing I have observed with your portfolio is that you have everything together in you have everything together in your Behance. We have graphic projects, you have also the projects there, it seems. And okay. What I did was to click on the second one, which is Flash Logistics. And I'm trying to just look at it. But I then took a step back to click on the first one we called KFit. And KFit is just a screenshot, 2 pictures. So I won't call that one a case study.
I have two.
What do you say?
Yeah, I said I have 2 case studies on it. I'm working on another one presently. But
You have 2
majorly
case studies.
majorly they are just snapshots, like just a couple of screens on it, like 2 screens, 3 screens.
Okay, so I'm looking at, I think the 2 case studies are Flash Logistics and Grook.
Yeah, fintech app. Yeah.
Yeah, so let me look at Flash first. So first thing I think you need to remove is that process, research and planning, define, design, testing. It's just one of those things that people put in their portfolio that doesn't really mean anything. So what you need to do is think of your portfolio, think of your CV as if it's a product that you're designing, because it's actually a product and you're designing for certain users, and those users are hiring managers. So you need to think of your portfolio in that kind of light, in the sense of how do I put together a portfolio that appeals to these people, that within a few seconds of them looking at it, they can decide that I'm the best person for this role. I'm one of the best persons for this role. Because you need to know that hiring managers that look at portfolios do not look at it for so long, probably just a few seconds, and they'll make their decision. So I think the first thing, even backing up to the beginning, the first thing you need to do is, if you're going to be sharing your Behance link with for applications for jobs, then you need to get rid of a whole lot of stuff here. If it's just 1 or 2 case studies you have, then you leave them there. Every other thing should go. The reason is because you end up wasting the time. No, actually, you won't even waste the person's time, because they will just scan through, click on anyone and be like, oh, this is not the person, I'll move on to the next person. That's just what will happen. So you would end up applying for roles, you will not get positive feedbacks, and you don't know what the problem is. Meanwhile, from the very beginning, there's already a problem. So if I was a hiring manager looking at this portfolio, your Behance, and you sent me the link that this is my portfolio, please have a look at it, I don't think you would make it to the next stage. The reason is because I would just glance through. I could click on anyone at random. Let's say I clicked on the first one, KFit, and I look at it, I'm like, not what I'm looking for. Maybe I'm like, okay, second chance, let me click on something else. And unfortunately, I click on another screenshot. That's the end. I've moved on to the next person. So you need to get rid of anything that you just put there to fill up the space. Remove all of it. Either you remove it from this Behance, or you move your portfolio elsewhere, create your portfolio somewhere else. Maybe you compile it as a PDF document that you can be sending to people or something. Maybe you host the PDF document online, maybe your Google Drive. There are different ways of putting your portfolio. So that I think that's the first thing. Then looking into one of your case studies. I don't see too much about the research process itself. I'm looking at the one titled Flash Logistics. I don't see too much about the research itself. You just said that an independent survey was carried out, but you didn't tell us how many people did you survey? Why did you choose to do survey in the first place? In what channel? How did you send out the survey? How did people answer the survey? Was it Google Forms or was it whatever? What were you even trying to achieve with the survey? What was your goal for the research? All those things need to be clearly stated before you can say you are creating persona or whatever. Even before persona, after you've done the research, what was the result of the research? What did you find out? So you put everything. I can see you said some insights I did. Okay, so deducted is, I don't think that is correct English, but anyway, some insights include you put 3 insights, but then you didn't tell us what you were looking for in the beginning. Even these insights are not really much of an insight. It would have been good to have like as much of a direct quote as possible. What did somebody say? How did you conclude that this was your insight? You've not shown us any record that you actually did a research, right? So those are some things I have noticed. On the define, you've said trying to define the problem and then the solution. So no, you can't just define a problem and define the solution in one place. The problem statement should have been written at the beginning, somewhere at the beginning. What is the problem? Before even going through research, what is the problem you're trying to solve? That should be the first thing. Before you now say research, you go on, then you can now say, okay, this is the solution I'm coming up with. And then how did you come up with that solution? Is it just an idea you went about, or were there a couple of possible solutions and then you decided to go with one of them based on certain factor, or maybe based on something that someone said in a research or something you found out? You can't just type solution. See, the whole point of a case study is to walk the reader, to walk the reader through your whole thought process from beginning, which is a problem, to the end, which is a solution. That is the point of a case study. If your case study is not walking me through your whole thought process to delivery to decisions, if it's not walking me through everything from beginning to end, then that's not really a case study. You've just put together a document. So user flow. So I'd like for you to check through for some errors, typographical errors. Under user flow, I can see you misspelled deliver goods. Deliver is misspelled. So when I see errors, typographical errors in someone's portfolio, CV, or in any of the application, I usually make a conclusion that the person doesn't pay attention to details. And I would most likely move those kind of applications aside. So I would recommend for you to like pay more attention to that. Then I see after user flow, you have style guide, screens. Okay. So what how you can document your UI designs parts more or better is to, again, walk people through the thought process. Don't just dump the designs there, like screens, splash screen and onboarding, right? You've said you just dropped the screens there. You didn't tell us context. Okay, onboarding screens, that does what? Why do you have onboarding screens? To be able to help the user do what in particular? What else? Okay. Sign in, sign up. Okay, that's fine. Dashboard and activity screen. What activity? What's activity screen? Which of them is activity screen? So it's not very clear. So you need to have a second look at that. again, I noticed the same typographical errors across. Delivery, those are spelled wrongly. So those are some of my feedback. I would say so far you're doing well since it's not up to a year, I think, that you got started. But let me have a look at your CV. In the meantime, if you have any questions, you can go ahead to ask me.
All right, I've been wanting to ask actually. I mean, I noticed that you are more of a UX designer than a UI part. So I wanted to know, like, to get major in the UX actually, how do I portray my work? Like, when I actually do the research work and I want to be out to work, like, how do I portray the work? How do I show the work?
How do you portray what?
Like, if I want to major in the UX part of the
Okay.
job, so how do I show my work, like a portfolio for UX? How do I go about it? A
Okay.
portfolio that would not include a UI, that won't have screens on it.
Okay. Firstly, how did you come to the conclusion that I'm more of a UX person than a UI person?
I don't know. I've actually seen you talking before, like and I noticed that you make a more emphasis on that aspect more than the UI part.
Hmm.
I mean, this is not my first time of being in a with you as a speaker. So I
Okay.
just want to like.
Okay. So it's all the things I have said already. I've actually answered that question already. Like looking at your flash logistics case study, I've answered that question. Documenting your process from the beginning to the end. Documenting your thought process and decisions from beginning to the end is how you document a UX project. As a matter of fact, even if it's a UI design project, even if it's just the UI design you did on a project, if you're going to come up with a case study for it, you have to still document your process and your thought process, like and your decisions, I mean. So you still have to document all of that. Even if it's a UI design project and you were only tasked with designing the screens, you have to still tell us why did you decide to choose certain colors? How did you come up with it? What was the original color palette? Did you have to choose between several? The typography you chose, why did you choose a serious one or a playful one? Is it their brand language? So you still have to document all of that. Even when you start doing the screens, it's like I said, when I looked at the UI design part of it, you still have to document all those. You can't just dump screens in a document and share. So however, I don't think you can just the question you asked me, I heard a part where you said UX design projects where you can have like a case study without the UI design part. That has not been I don't think I have any project in my own portfolio that I didn't document the UI part. So if it's a digital project, then yeah, of course, the UI design part is natural for it to be a part of it. If it's not a digital project, then that's when you probably not have a UI design. If you're going to compile a case study for, say, an app, you definitely would need to have a UI design part, right? Yeah. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, actually, you did. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you too. So I'm looking at your CV. So the very first thing I would say is that your CV is way too long. Way too long. I'm counting 7 pages here. That is too long. Your CV should not exceed 2 pages. It should not exceed 2 pages. Anything more than 2 pages, no one will make it to the bottom. So get rid of any extra thing that is not relevant to the
All
particular
right, like
role
do
you're designing. Yeah.
do you have a list of like relevant things that is just needed on the CV that would
Yeah,
just
I'm
so that I would.
I'm going to that. So hold on. So for instance, your CV, at the beginning you said you're a product designer, brand designer, product manager. You can't be applying for a role that is all three. You should create a CV that is for one. If you want to apply for all three of them, then you should create different CVs for different roles. That's the first thing. Separate all your roles if that's what you want to do. Product design CV should be different from product manager, should be different from brand designer. So that's one point I've given you already. We get rid of a lot of things that I've seen in your CV. For instance, you don't even need 3 paragraphs explaining your career objective. One small paragraph of 2 to 3 lines, more than enough. That's part of what's taking too much space. Area of expertise, you don't need that much, just a few lines. Professional certifications, nobody cares about that for a product design job. It should be at the very, very bottom of your CV. That's even if it will make it to your CV. It's not relevant. Anyone that is not relevant, like Jobberman's soft skill training, that's not relevant at all. Like, you have it, that is good. But nobody will ask you for your certifications to get a product design job. Absolutely no one. Even under your work experience as well, you've listed way too much points. 3, 4 points is enough. Those are things that are taking too much space. You don't need to list brand identity designer as a separate role. Even if you will, you don't need so many points. It should be like, since it's the same company, you don't need to list the same company twice. There's different things you can do to reduce the amount of space that your whole your all these things are taking. So your hobbies doesn't need to be there. Reference, remove it. Volunteering role, if it's not relevant to what you're applying for, remove it. So there are so many things to remove from your CV. So have a second look at it. Remember what I said. Design your CV, design your portfolio as if it's a product, because it actually is a product. Yeah, so I think that's all the time we have for your CV and portfolio. For the roles you've been applying for, have you been using cover letter?
Yes, I have actually. Most times I use my the email body as the cover letter. Sometimes, so most times when they just require for the CV and the sometimes they won't even ask for the CV, they'll just ask for the portfolio. So what I do is that I use my email body as the cover letter. But sometimes I actually add a cover letter on it, and I add cover
Okay.
letters.
All right. Do you have your cover letter there? Can you read it out to me?
Let me see if I have one here.
All right. Please check for
It's
that.
actually on my.
Yeah, while you're doing that, help me answer a few more questions. Will you say that you're a creative person?
Well, yeah, yeah, kind of. I'm working towards it. I mean, it's one of the things I'm actually looking forward to sharpen, taking new courses to actually sharpen my creativity. So yeah, I would say I'm not fully, but then I'm working towards it actually.
All right. So for your next role, the role you're looking for, what is your salary expectation?
Well, well, presently, I mean, I'm looking to intern roles, so I'm expecting anything from the range of let's say like 80 to 120
Okay.
in the current situation of things in the country.
All right. Noted. So I've been trying to do some diagnosis understand to understand how I can come in and if I can even help. Um, so first thing I want to say is that I'd recommend you upgrade or work on your portfolio. I think that should be your priority for now. I think you should work on your the quality of the project of the case studies in your portfolio. If you can improve the quality of your project, quality of your case study on how you document all those things, you can straight away apply for a junior product design role. rather than looking for intern roles. That's what I would recommend, right?
All
And
right.
I've given a bit of number of pointers on how you can improve your case studies. So, so like I said, I'm trying to do some like diagnosis to see how I can help and things like that. This is supposed to be one of couple of or several other sessions. The other sessions will be starting in January, and these sessions will be focused specifically on getting a job. So things like what platforms should you be on? Things like what should your LinkedIn profile look like? I've done some of this already, like your CV, your portfolio, assisting in cleanup, giving you some pointers and guiding you. Um, Cover letter, even though we now have the time for me to actually hear your cover letter,
Okay,
but
I've actually seen one actually, but it's
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So as I was saying, yeah, I will not be able to have the time
All
to
right.
actually hear that now. So, but what I want to say about cover letter is that it should be like your voice. It should be like your voice in a room. You know, when you apply for a job, you're not actually there to defend yourself. You're not there to defend your portfolio or your CV. You're only submitting things in text format. So your cover letter should be the voice for you. It should be like what speaks to your interest, but even about your personality. So because as you're applying for a job, that's how hundreds or even maybe thousands of other people applying for the same role. As a matter of fact, the very first person that will look at your application is most likely not judging your application on a technical basis, is most likely judging it on a cultural fit basis. So what that simply means is that a recruiter is the first person looking at your portfolio, or an HR manager. So this group of people do not have the capacity per se to judge your technical skills. It's the second person in the process, who is the hiring manager, that will judge your portfolio. So I would even say that for the very first step of the application process, your cover letter is so important. I think it's like number one, right? That's aside your CV, of course. So it's something that is so important. Then and I'm not, when I say cover letter, I'm not talking about some templates of you introducing yourself. Hi, I'm John, or hi, I'm Ali, and I'm a product designer of this and this years. I have done this. And no. That is just that is basic. We're talking about something that speaks about your belief system in the UX design. What is your core? What's your anchor? Is there a part of UX design that you enjoy the most? Is there something just like as if you're having a conversation, right?
Okay.
A pre-interview. That's what your cover letter should be. Um, and then we have mock interviews. That's how, depending on how proactive you are, we'll be having mock interviews. Is going to be a group session, a very small group between 5 to 10 people. And so then also specializations, like I've mentioned already. So what part of UX design do you enjoy the most? What is your possible niche? So I'll be assisting in also digging that out. If you're not sure of it, we're hoping to refine that in the group. So these sessions I'm going to be having in January, it's not geared towards teaching the basics of product design. I won't be teaching those. I won't be teaching how to use Figma. I won't be teaching any of those. I won't be opening Figma and saying this is how to move things around. Of course, there'll be times I will see your project or a case study, and I'm like, okay, this can be improved on. You should improve on this, but not for me to sit down and actually start showing you those. Then I won't be doing it for you. What I mean by that is I won't be actually helping you to work on your CV or your portfolio or any of those. I'll be assisting you. I'll be helping you, giving you guidance, but not be doing it for you. And these sessions are not going to be free. It's a paid session. It costs £100. And it's also okay. So what I would do is I'll send you an email with
All
the
right.
summary of some of what we've discussed, and even the payment details and things like that. But when you see the email, you see a deadline for payment of 24th, and 24th happens to be Saturday. No, Abby, yeah, Saturday. Yeah, today is already it's Thursday. So if it happens to be Saturday, the thing is that this deadline has been in place for weeks now. Unfortunately, fortunately, you're just hearing about it. However,
So
how
the deadline is 24th of this month.
yes, of this month. We are starting the session first, I think first or second week in January.
Wow.
So yeah, however, what I was trying to say is that two things. One is I set the deadline because you need about a week or so between when you've made payments and when we start the training for you to do certain things. One of which is to make certain amendments in your portfolio, some of which I've already told you, your CV. There are a number of things I will list that you need to do before, and certain videos you need to watch and certain things like that before we even start the session. So there needs to actually be a deadline for that. Then also, second thing is that there are certain people that reached out to me saying, oh, please, I'm not able to come up with this whole thing by the 24th. How about this particular date or this concession or things like that? So, but that's on individual basis. So if it's something that you're interested in, we can have that kind of conversation. But yeah, so let's see. I think that's it. I know we're out of time, but if you have any questions, please go ahead.
I mean, it's been an awesome session. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to those sessions in January. I mean, I have to look at the mail and see how I can come up with. But then it's been an amazing session, and I mean, going forward, what I would actually be looking at is developing those things you pointed out, and then after that, I can look at actually getting looking forward to how to actually move forward with getting a job, a gig. Stand. So it's been an amazing session. So
Speaking
I
of
really
job,
thank you.
yeah, sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt you. Speaking
yeah,
of
no
job,
problem.
yeah, you mentioned that you're looking for intern roles between 80 to
Yeah,
120K. I would say that's really small. Very, very small.
I was thinking it was very much actually. Yeah, but I
No,
mean,
it is
okay,
tiny. That is minute. Like I said, if
okay.
you do those things that I've said you should do, one of which is your portfolio, high quality project alone in your portfolio. Even if it is two projects in your portfolio, let it be high quality, let them be properly done. And then your CV and then your cover letter, and then you're ready, actually know what to look forward to in interviews. What I'm even preparing people for in the sessions are not just Nigerian jobs, even if it's Nigerian job, top quality Nigerian jobs, but more, I'm looking more towards international roles because there are so many jobs out there, like too many, and we just are not ready, right? Many people are not ready. Some of us have the knowledge, some of the knowledge of product design, but that gap in between putting that knowledge into getting the job you want is usually the problem. And that's what that session will be focused on. So yeah. So I would say that's really small. You should be gunning for a junior design role with a couple hundreds of thousands of naira at least. Yeah, so yeah, thank you very much for attending. Should will I see you in January?
Hopefully, yeah. I am looking forward to it. I mean, this is an amusing session, and
Yeah.
I know that yeah, this is not my first session with you, so I'm very sure that the ones moving forward will be amazing. So
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it, and
Okay, that's
hopefully, yeah.
cool. That's cool.
We just have
I'll
to look
send
at
you.
budget and yeah. Uh, uh,
I know, right? So I'll send you the email today. You should receive the email today. You need to let me know if I should look forward to you. Practically, you know your pockets, you know your time commitments, you know every other thing. So it's good for yeah.
exactly.
So all of the because it's going to be a grueling session. It's going to be one, it's not going to be just something a walk in a park because there'll be assignments, things for you to do and things like that. So yeah, let's look forward to my email and I look forward to your response as well.
All right. Sorry, one last question.
Yes, please.
Um, yeah, I was wondering, getting gigs on Upwork and Fiverr and stuff like that. Do you like is there a way someone can, just the basics like would I be getting that from the session come January?
It is the same processes that leads to getting a job, whether it's a full-time job, a part-time job, a temporary job, a freelance job,
Okay.
whatever the job is, the same things still apply. How do you get such jobs? It's three things. Three things are the major things: your portfolio, your CV, cover letter, and then of course, knowing certain things depending on the platform. For instance, Upwork has certain things about like that specific to Upwork, but then the equivalent of cover letter is more like your bio. The equivalent of your your portfolio is more like documenting your work experiences. Those kind of things are peculiar to Upwork. But the first thing you must have is these things. You must have these things, then you can translate it to different platforms. So it's the same process, regardless of what type of job you want to get. It's still the same standard process.
All right. Thank
All
you very
right.
much for the session.
You're welcome. Bye
Yeah,
bye.
sorry. Also, can I get the link to the recording?
You
Can you
should
share me
get
the link to the recording?
you
Just
should get an email about that.
all right.
Maybe before the end of maybe tomorrow, you should get an email about that. I'll be sending it to everyone actually.
All right. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.